Welcome to Creative Piecemeal Podcast, a podcast for creatives. I'm your host, Tammy Takeishi. Join me for compelling conversations with artists, actors, authors, musicians, and other creatives about the impact of the creative and fine arts in their lives and our ever-changing world. Thank you for listening. Hello and welcome to Creative Piecemeal Podcast. Today I'm so excited to be joined by the fantastic and talented Mathias Lattin. He is a guitarist and at 20 years old won first place at the 2023 International Blues Challenge in the band category and was awarded Best Guitarist by the judges. Mathias is a product of the Houston ISD Fine Arts Magnet Program and is a 2020 graduate of the Kinder High School for Performing and Visual Arts. Mathias is an emerging young Texas guitarist. He's heavily influenced by music legends B.B. King, Johnny Guitar Watson, Albert Collins, and Wes Montgomery, and his love for music is reflected in the soulful blues, jazz-inflected chords, and funky bass lines. Trained as a jazz guitarist, he incorporates that knowledge in his playing and songwriting. Welcome to the show.
I'm happy to be here.
I'm so excited to have you on the show. I got to see you perform about a month or so ago at the Do-Si-Do, and that was absolutely fantastic. I was blown away. So,
thank you. Yeah, about a month or so ago. It was a good show.
Yeah, it was excellent. So, you know how to rock and wail on a guitar.
Oh man.
We're going to get right into questions. I was wondering who or what inspired you to go into the creative arts?
So from what I was told, I've always been a creative person. From a young, little infant, I was singing songs around the house, just making noise. My brother always gets mad. He always talks about when I was younger, I just wouldn't shut up. I was always loud, always banging something, always making a noise. And so that kind of started. That was where my mom had chose, like, okay, we got to put you in an art school. So I actually started at Parker. I ended up playing cello for a quick minute. I went from cello to piano, one of the two. I started off in piano in the classical area. And then I saw a kid walking down the hallway one day at the little elementary school I went to, and it was a guitar. And I said, I want to do that. And I just kind of bugged and prayed and cried and just like, hey, I want to be in the guitar class. Until finally they put me in it. And so I started doing classical guitar there. And then going into my middle school years, my grandmother showed me a video of B.B. King playing guitar. And that was when I was like, I'm doing that for a living. I don't care. Doing that. I'm going to play.
That's awesome. And I'm always curious, okay, how many guitars do you own? Like 1 million, right?
Downsized before I went to Memphis and ended up with 2.5 more. I got one more on the way, actually. Like I just confirmed the email this morning. There's one on the way. I got 2 basses as well. We're moving house, so I got 2 more at the other house. And then someone else has one of mine. So I'm gonna say roughly 15, 16.
Nice. That's a good number though, you know?
Yeah, I know somebody who has 35 and they're the same age as me. It get expensive after a while, especially to maintain everything. It's almost as bad as having a really nice car. It's actually just as bad as I have a really nice car, so it's just as bad as maintaining.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm up there. I'm in the 16s. I'm about to hit 20 soon, so I don't know what I'll do.
Although, unlike a really nice guitar, it's good when it's good when guitars make noise. It's bad when a car makes noise.
True. Very true.
Yeah. Do you have a favorite of your guitars?
I have two favorites actually. One was bought as a graduation gift in 2020 after I came back from the NAMM show. I didn't even know that it was purchased. I came home from a field trip from New Orleans one day, this was senior year of high school. My high school did the production of we were the first high school to do a high school production of The Color Purple.
Mm.
And so I was one of the assistant music directors for that. So I did the charts and all the rehearsals with the string players and the rhythm section. I was mainly over the rhythm section, but your jobs as a music director stream across the board. But I came back from a field trip from New Orleans, which was right before when the pandemic shut down. I got this a guy from Japan. His name is Nikamura. His guitar brand is called Suji, and that's been my number one for the most part for the past two years. Actually, I think a picture just came up on my Facebook like yesterday that it's been 2 years to the day that I've had it. 3 years to the day that I've had it. So that's been my number one. And then recently I opened up for Eric Gales in September in the festival. They gave me a guitar here in Houston. And they were like, yeah, this came out of David Grissom's personal collection. It's a brand new Paul Reed Smith guitar. So those are the tie for first place right now. They both look beautiful. They both sound beautiful. So, it's like having children. You can't really say which one's the favorite.
Yes, understandable. Yeah. Are you a big gear head? Like you just can't get enough of all the pedals and special effects, or do you prefer to just keep it low key?
I'm not a big pedal guy. I'm a big guitar guy. I'm low key until we start talking about guitars. I'm real picky about which guitar I play and what amps I play. So if it's not a Fender this, I don't really want to touch it. I'm real picky about the amps I play through because that's how you get the sound. I want to make sure I'm giving you my sound, and because I've been there the whole time, I just get real picky about it. Definitely not pedals too much. I can play without them. I could care less.
Mm-hmm.
I use them, but I'm not that picky about it.
It's always interesting to hear what people really, really can't live without.
I can't live without at least a halfway decent guitar. I'd rather have a great. I'd rather have this everlasting question: a great guitar, or a great amp. I'd rather have a great guitar and a bad amp because I feel like I can't. If my guitar is good, it's set up well, then I feel like I can express a little bit more. You have a really bad guitar, you can make it sound like you, but if you're fighting every day, I don't like to fight my instruments. I like them to be smooth like butter.
Do you ever name your instruments?
Yes, my number one, her name is Sophia.
Oh, very nice.
Yes, her name is Sophia.
Does Sophia know she's your favorite guitar?
Sophia gets taken care of the most. I fight people about Sophia. I'll hand it to people and I'll be like, hey, I need this back.
Understandable. So obviously you're a guitar guy and you do play some bass as well. But if you had to try any other instrument, what do you think it would be?
So I have this wrist injury, and I was talking to a friend about midway through last year. I was like, I don't know what I'll do if I have the time to heal or if it just goes out completely. And they were like, you do remember you play piano, right? So I've actually been working on playing organ for the past 3 or 4 months, which is an entirely different monster than keyboard, but I've been working on my organ chops a little bit. So I think that would be where I kind of want to go to next.
That's neat. Do you think you'd like play some like creepy Halloween music or like classical stuff or?
I'd probably go back to playing jazz, to be honest with you. If I'm playing piano, I'd probably go back to playing jazz. Just more fun.
Yeah, jazz piano is just gorgeous. All those chords.
Is. Yeah. I love people like Oscar Peterson. Those are my favorite. McCoy Tyner. I like Thelonious Monk, and it's one of those everlasting debates whether he was good or bad, but I'm not gonna get into it. That's that's a whole other conversation. But yeah, I would probably go back to playing piano if I had to choose a new instrument.
Nice. And that actually goes into our next question, you said you've been doing some songwriting recently. Are you able to tell us a little bit more about that?
I actually don't know how much I can tell you about it. No one's given me NDAs or anything like that. I did offer a buddy of mine, his name's Dylan Triplett, so um, I may have written a song for him. We're not sure yet. He liked what I showed him. He was like, I want that song. So we'll have to see what happens in the coming months. But yeah, since the IBCs, the International Blues Challenge, it's been a lot of people reaching out to me asking me to write a song for them, which I'm really thankful for. Um, Songwriting has been a big thing for me for years. Um, it's a lot. I tell someone asked me my writing process, and I told them, you're about to hear me say the worst answer of all time, and you're going to be so upset. I just, I just let the song write itself. Sometimes a song takes a day to write. Sometimes it takes 2 to 3 months to write. But that's because I'm letting the song tell its own story. You give me a topic, or the it'll be like 1 a.m., 2 a.m., and I wake up out my sleep with the hook or the starting line of the whole thing, and I just got to go get a pen and paper and write it. I'm definitely excited for a couple of the projects that I am working on. In fact, I wrote every song on my album. There's no co-writers, there's no extra producers. I wrote and produced the whole thing. So
That's exciting. Do you have a release date yet for your new album?
we do not have a release date as of right now. We just have early June because we've been doing other stuff and working on 2020, late 2023 and late 2024. It's been hard to just finalize a lot of the details, like my release date and the cover photo.
Oh.
We have everything else. We have the liner notes. We have the last little bit of the horns getting done this weekend, but we haven't done the cover photo yet. We have the title. We have everything. Just that one little bit would be
Yeah.
great.
Yeah, I was gonna say sometimes choosing something like the cover is probably gonna be one of you think it'd be simple, like a simple decision, but then it's like hard because there might be so many great options or ideas that you could go
Yeah,
with.
and it's when you get into this process, you don't think about a lot of the stuff that should be really, really easy decisions that become like, oh wait, this is like the biggest one. Like like the color of the font. No one thinks about that. The color of the font is like a huge decision based off of your cover photo or whatever you do on the back, or you want it to be visible, so you don't want a color that blends into anything and just stands out. You can go with basic white if you want. I mean, just all that stuff. You just don't think about it.
Mm-hmm. Do you get to have the creative control over all of that?
Yeah. So I'm pretty much the sole person over the whole thing. I'm the producer, I'm the writer, I make all the last minute decisions. I do let people that recorded have some kind of input because that's how creativity works. I always want the best product. Um, but for the most part, at the end of the day, I'm writing the check, so making the final call. Obviously, if an idea is a better decision, then we go with that one, just because if it works out better, it works out.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Do you feel like it's gives you more creative freedom having the full control over the album, or would you like to delegate someday?
I would like to delegate someday to a degree. There are some things that I just won't relinquish on. Like I want to choose my players on the albums, because I want to put out the best thing that I feel is me. And sometimes when you work with other people and they choose certain players you're not feeling, it's like, well, it's gonna give me the best product for this, but I'm not satisfied. Because you got to remember, when we put these out, they're out there forever.
Mm-hmm.
So, I do enjoy having all the freedom and all the decisions, but there are some things where I'm like, I'd rather, let someone else do this.
I'd love to go back and talk a little more about your songwriting process. I think
Yeah.
it's cool that, you're able to go with the flow and you just, let the song sort of breathe itself into
Mhm.
existence. But even with that gift, do you have like a least favorite and a favorite part of that?
My least favorite part of it is if a song doesn't rhyme. So all the songs are poems, and there are poem structures like A B A B, A B C, A B C D E, stuff like that. So understanding those small things. But sometimes it's hard to get a rhyme out of a word, or
Mm.
you have to move, you have to flip the story around. Like it's right itself, but sometimes you have to edit the story a little bit, and that's the part where I don't like. Like it becomes a great story, but now I have to like really edit it down just to get it to be what it needs to be. It's short enough because we all have attention spans, and so jazz songs are great. They're like 7, 8 minutes long, but only 2 minutes of it is somebody singing. You know,
Mhm.
so there's those parts. Having to oblige by the social standard. My favorite part is watching all the songs come together. They magically do it, and it's great. Like even though I have to go through or make all those edits, all the ones that don't rhyme, and just to make the story just a little bit more clear, or to make it more relatable. Because every now and again you'll have a situation that's not relatable all that much. Like you have people talk about how they have 15 cars and $100 to spend. I don't know anybody personally that has 15 cars with $100. If they have 15 cars, they live in Bel Air.
Right?
But my favorite part of the writing process at the end of the day is just seeing how it all comes together with the music, you know, and then better so when I hand it to somebody else and they sing it better than I could have ever done it. That's my favorite part, really. When I'm able to give away a song or have the forethought to be like, this isn't going to work for me, but I have the idea of who it can go for.
That must be really exciting, not only to be able to express yourself in songwriting, but
Mhm.
to let other people feel that expression and make that a part of themselves when you give a song away for that artist to sing.
Yeah, and and sometimes what's even more uh how do I say it? To see how someone else interprets the same song is always mind blowing to me. Like we have a song that I wrote for my record called Party. And I'm just thinking about when I first wrote it, I was thinking about, okay, I just need a song to go to a bar and just play and let everybody have fun and drink. And we were in a rehearsal one day with another group that I played for. And they said, yeah, so this song is talking about taking somebody home. I'm like, whoa, wait, what? I didn't get any of that. I was just talking about going out and having a good time for the night. I didn't think about all that other stuff, but just hearing how people, like if I gave that song to somebody else and seeing how they would have interpreted with the way they sing it is, mind blowing to me. I love those parts. Those are the parts of songwriting that make me really just excited, especially when I know I'm writing for someone else. I try my hardest to write in their style, but still write what I would say. And so I give it to them and they come back with their vocals on it. And it's like, wow, I would have never sung it like that. Or the pain that you're feeling is not the same pain I felt. It's more dramatized.
We're gonna backtrack a little bit. You went to Parker Elementary, which has a fantastic music program,
Yeah.
across the Houston area. And of course,
Hmm.
continuing with that along in your education, what would you say to young musicians now who are in those magnet schools? What's the best piece of advice you could give them?
Whatever you're doing, whatever you're learning, play it slow, learn it slow, soak it in, and listen to a lot of stuff. When we're learning in our formative years, we get into certain genres and we love it. I would say just venture off just a little bit more beyond this, you know? That's all I got. I would say just venture on and just take everything real slow.
That's excellent advice. And along the lines of venturing on, I'm sure you probably have a pretty vast collection of music yourself. What are some of the most interesting things we might find in your music collection?
In my so what I've been doing since the start of this year, has you so we're not friends on Facebook, right?
I don't think we are yet. We should be.
Oh, I'll have to find you because I'm private. So um I've been doing song of the day
Oh,
every day.
nice.
So every day is a different song. That means there's going to be 365 songs at the end of the year. I think so. Yeah, because next year's a leap year. So 365 songs. So this year, today, I think was a Rick James song. I can't remember the name of it, but a couple days ago, I posted Sometime in April by Sammy Davis Jr.
Nice.
I had a Australian lady for one of them. Um, it's all over the place. I really am all over the place. And I tell people, and they're like, you seem kind of all over the place. There's a song called BC by an Australian bass player. Her name is Tal Wilkenfield. Wilkenfield. You can find a lot of stuff. I mean, I just listen and listen and listen. I have a joint playlist with a couple buddies, and I'll take stuff from there. I don't know what I'll play sometimes. And what it is like whatever I wake up to, it'll be whatever song's playing that morning, or whatever song just jumps to my head, like just jumps to it. Like I haven't posted any like massive hits. I'm a B-side guy.
Nice.
So like I like songs like Computer Blue by Prince. Um it's a big album, but that's a B-side hit. I love Darling Nikki, which is also by Prince. Um let's see. There's an artist, uh Jasmine Horn. Um I don't know sometimes actually. I posted like some disco stuff 2 days ago.
Nice, nice.
But I think the biggest thing I have in my personal collection, I have a George Benson record that I found for like $1. It's a live in Japan, maybe. Great record.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I love that you have such a varied playlist because you can find inspiration from anywhere, and then it like seeps into your songwriting and your playing, and you just get better and
Hmm.
better.
Right. And it's also just good to see like the different rhythms, hear how everything else is played. Like I love Selena. I love most female artists in general, but I love Selena. I hate Bitty Bitty Bumba. That's the only song I don't like. But everything
Just gets
else,
stuck in your head, right?
it's a whole story. But I like Latin rhythms, and my drummer, he also loves Latin rhythms. So like every time we'll do a show, every now and again, we'll do an original and I'll change everything about it. We'll just be like, you know what, man? We're gonna play it like we're playing Michael Jackson today, just for fun.
I love that. I love that you just sort of go with how you feel, how you feel the music takes you in that performance that day.
Yeah. It's definitely an experience even for us.
I bet. Yeah. And I love your idea of song of the day. I might steal that maybe. Steal that
Hey,
idea.
it's fun. It gets hard at a certain point because you got to remember which one you did post.
Mm.
'Cause I almost posted Temptation twice, same song. Almost did it. Almost did it.
So this is a completely non-music question, but
All right.
what top three meals would you recommend to a tourist visiting H-Town?
Top three meals. Ooh, okay. So there's a spot where the old Shipley's used to be in downtown off of Travis Street. It's now bought out by my buddy Gerald.
Mm,
His place is called Stuffed Wings.
that sounds
That's
amazing.
that's number one. Stuffed wings is exactly that. They have different items. There's a mac and cheese one. I've still never had it to this day. I remember when they had the food truck, and I would have to call to make me a plate on a Sunday, just to leave it on the side, and it got sold by the time I got there. So if you try it, let me know because I've never had it. They make a mac and cheese one. They have a boudin one. They have a fried rice one, a dirty rice one. It's just delicious. They have all these great options. So there's stuffed wings. That's number one. There's a place in the middle of like I want to say Midtown called the Waffle Bus.
Ooh.
That's great. They just do everything just with a waffle. And then my all-time favorite, anytime someone comes to town, I don't care what time it is, I will stop what I'm doing at the middle of the day to go to House of Pies on Kirby.
Yes.
House
House
of
of
Pies on Kirby.
Pies. Woo.
Hmm.
They have one up on my side of town, and I love it so much.
Oh yeah.
It's so good. Those are some excellent recommendations. I have not been to Stuffed Wings or the Waffle Bus, but I wrote it down, so I'm gonna make a trek down there.
Please, they're great spots.
And speaking of food, do you have a favorite after concert show meal that you like to get?
No, because everything that I want is usually closed. I'm always hankering for a smoothie after
Mm.
shows. Just places offer us food, but usually I'm like not hungry. I just want a smoothie. I like to be on a healthier kind of kick. So like a strawberry banana or like strawberry banana with like a little bit of peanut butter in there.
Mm.
That's my way. That's my lifestyle.
That sounds tasty.
It's real good. Unless you're allergic to peanut butter, then I would not recommend it. But
True, true. So we were just talking about food, which is always a wonderful topic, but now we're going to switch gears over to books. And are there any books that have inspired you as a musician, or any books that you just absolutely love, whether it's music related or not, that you could read all the time?
so the books I read are actually music related. Because I do a lot of article readings. So the stuff I would tell people to read is usually like a I always tell musicians, and I've been told by mentors, many mentors of mine, to always know about music business. So I always tell people to buy the what all you need to know about music business book. He does like an update every year. So I think the current one is 12 or 11. Then there's 11 contracts, 11 entertainment contracts you need to know. And then there's a book called all about the music, all about the entertainment law, all about entertainment law. Yes. And then there's another book by a record label head. His name is Bruce Iglauer. The name of the book escapes me right now, but he talks about all the blues musicians he's ran across and worked with, and the industry that he's been a part of for many, many years. Although I cannot think of it off the top of my head, it's a great book.
Mm. Do you I'm do you find that because you do things like producing and writing your own stuff, that knowing about the music business has helped you have a smoother transition and a more successful career so far?
I think me knowing about music business is probably what started me into be saying the words like I want to be my own producer, you know? Because you have to learn about so much stuff that most musicians don't really think about getting into until like their later years of artistry, when they come across like that one good opportunity and they're offered such and such, but they never knew how to get about it. They never did the proper channels. And so now they're, SOL.
Mm-hmm.
And all those horror stories kind of led me to doing what I do, saying the words like, hey, I want to produce stuff, I want to write stuff. But in order for me to get the full advantage of writing and producing, I have to know how to sign up for performing rights organizations and how to know how to read certain contracts, especially if I don't have an entertainment lawyer. Luckily, I do have one, but I'm also like really big into knowing everything that's happening. So they read it and I read it. Especially if I don't, I know that what they're doing is, that's their job, but I like to know what I'm reading. I like to learn. So I'll ask a question like, hey, what's that? What's this mean? And they'll tell me because knowledge is power, right?
Of course, of course.
Hmm.
I think that's fantastic that you've, taken that into your own hands to learn and grow because, it won't hurt anything.
Right. It can steer you in a bad decision every now and again, but you learn from your bad decisions. Double-edged sword right there.
I know you couldn't imagine yourself really doing anything else, but if you woke up today in an alternate universe, what kind of creative art do you think you would do?
What kind of creative art, or what would I be doing instead of music?
Ooh, either one.
I've been thinking about this question for 3 days. This exact question. Um, so if I wasn't doing music, I would probably be trying to become a like an arts designer or art painter. I like painting. Personally, I don't paint, but like I do like painting. Um, and then the other thing is, I would love to be a professional bowler.
That's awesome.
And it's funny because I'm the only non-athlete in my family. So in an alternate universe, I can see myself like this is the only thing I could be doing. Like in my free time, if you can't find me, if I'm not answering my phone, it's likely that I'm bowling at 12 o'clock midnight.
That's awesome. That is awesome. I haven't bowled in ages, but like I always remember it was so much fun as a kid, and the ball as big as your head and you
Yeah.
chuck it with like two hands down the lane.
Hmm.
Do you own your own bowling shoes?
No, I don't. I haven't committed like that yet. I haven't committed. I want to do the whole gambit. I want to do the uh the shoes, and I want to do the custom bowling ball. But if I didn't get into bowling, I would own a watch shop. I love collecting watches. I'm actually a minimalist, so I have a rule for when I buy watches. I only have three right now, but I love collecting watches. I just bought one like a couple days ago. In fact, it should be here in a matter of hours.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah.
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 What is it that fascinates you about watches? Is it the mechanical components or just the fact that it keeps time or
I like the stories that you get a watch for. Um, like I like telling stories is really what it is. But most people I know with a watch, there's a story behind it. Like this is my everyday watch. It's a Fossil. It's a tech watch too. It's like a half and half. It's a hybrid, but it's a Fossil watch. Tells time. I don't do smartwatches, like the Apple watches and stuff like that. Um, but I like the stories that come along with it. Like this is the first watch I ever bought. I was 17 when I bought it. I just purchased a bullet book for my IBC win to commemorate that I could do it. Um, the watch before this, I bought it on my first tour when I was playing with Keisha Pratt. We got off the blues cruise and I bought it in Florida. Just the stories that come along with it. Like my brother, he's a athletic runner. He runs for Adidas, and Adidas sent him to an event to F1 racing. And one of the watch brands that endorses the what's the soccer league again?
FIFA?
Yeah, whoever endorses FIFA, Hublot. He met the owner and he brought me back a watch. I which makes me laugh to this day because I can't afford to pay for that watch at all, and I throw it on the floor constantly. I'll be in the middle of the show. My wrist starts hurting. I'm like, I'll take the watch off and I'll throw it on the floor. And I'm just like, wait, what did I do? But I like collecting watches because of the stories that are had with them or told with them. My friend recently had a kid and he went and just bought a watch, and I said, now you know that this watch will be connected with your child's birth for the rest of your life, right? He's like, whoa. Like, yeah.
That is really neat. Have you ever thought of writing a song about a watch?
I mean, we've done that. We've talked about turning back the hands of time already. So I don't think I can get there yet. Maybe. We'll see. I don't know. I got to sit down with that one.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But that's really cool though. You're actually not the first musician I know who likes to collect watches. So maybe it's just
Really?
maybe it's just something in the music genes, huh?
Maybe. There's certain ones I won't buy, but I'm not gonna say them on the air.
Yeah, there's some really beautiful watches out there, but like it's hard for me to wear them myself because I have like really tiny wrists, you know.
Yeah. Hmm.
Yep. And then I'm clumsy, so I'm always banging into walls and stuff like that. So
And that's why you crack it, you get it fixed, and you say, "Yeah, this one I fixed when I hit the wall."
there you go. So we're gonna get back to some music questions. Who's been one of the biggest influences in your musical life?
So there's two guys in town. One's name is John Del Toro Richardson. He runs the Wednesday night Big Easy Jam. He's also the person that presents the Best Guitarist Award every year at the International Blues Challenge. So it was almost full circle that he gave me the award because when I first started playing out blues on the blues scene here in Houston, I would come out to his jam on Wednesday nights, and I would, it was every Wednesday for about a year, and then I almost every Wednesday for about 2.5 years. And he would be encouraging. He would show me some licks. He would tell me what to do, tell me what not to do. Um, almost like a father figure for me. And then there's a guy named Sean Allen, who's also a very big mentor of mine. He's basically mentored me in everything outside of blues. So me as just a musician and how to operate in the music business side of things. I have a lot of mentors in the scene here in the city, but those two stand out because I've been through a lot more with them. Not that I haven't with others, but I see those two on like a pretty much regular basis. I just talked to Sean this morning, actually. So, but he's taught me about stuff on the road because I played with him in the same band for a while. He's taught me about just he's expanded my mind as far as being a musician as a creative, certain chord changes and stuff like that. Introduced me to certain artists in the scene, and introduced me to people I would have never met because they don't have their own platform. They're just the people that are at churches that you just never see, and you're like, wow, why aren't you famous? You know?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That sounds like it was fantastic having that great support system, not only in your schools and with your family and friends, and also with those
Yeah,
mentors in the city.
it really was. When I had a band in high school, middle school and high school, they would give me and the whole band advice. So it was always great. You know?
And of course, like you said, full circle with some of your mentors at that international blues competition. Would you mind
Yeah.
speaking a little bit more about what that was like, winning and, competing and everything?
So all the rehearsals up to it, we were just like, we can do it. We can make it to the finals. Then we got into the actual competition. We flew in at 5 a.m. the day before, and we're all just super, super exhausted. The next day comes, we're super, super exhausted. We're like, we're not gonna make it out of the first round. And it just kept going and kept going. And the process itself, just being in Beale Street was, for one, I had already been three other times. I was there twice as a youth performer, once as a sideman, and the other time as a lead person. The year before I won in 2022, I went as a sideman, and then in 2023, I went as a frontman, just like before. So it feels full circle in many ways to me. But that experience up there is truly, it's grueling. It's almost as if you're on tour because you're nonstop for those 4 days if you keep going. Two days in the same spot. One day you change over somewhere else new, entirely different crowd, entirely different set of people, entirely different judges, and then you make it to the big old Orpheum, and it's just I wear sunglasses on stage to hide my anxiety. So I can't see anything with sunglasses. And the ones I had made for my lenses, I had them do a little darker tint. So we got to the Orpheum stage. All I could see were like the lights from phones. There's a lot of people that it seats. It seats a lot of people in the Orpheum. It was very, it was a thrill in and of itself. The whole thing itself was a thrill. To win the Albert King Award, or now named Best Guitarist, was really full circle because I mean, the fact that John had taught me so much, and I used a lot of what he did and what he does in the International Blues Challenge as a player. That almost brought tears to my eyes. And then to win the whole thing was just another level of wow. Just we did it. You know, it took me about 2 days. That's us winning and the flight home. The day after the flight home is when I really just kind of it just all hit me. I was like, whoa, we just won like the biggest thing in blues. It's still surreal to me. I'm always looking at the next thing, so I'm not always taking in the current thing. But it's quite baffling that me at only 20 years old, me at going night at 19 last year, but being 20 this year to win the whole thing has been really inspiring to myself, telling me that I can actually do it, you know. Because before that, I was just writing for whoever was local in town, and you know, writing my own stuff, not the feeling like people would listen to it. And so now that it's here,
Congratulations again on winning that. It's
thank you, thank you.
impressive. And of course, it must be so nice to have that outside validation, because you're good at what you do. You've put in the work hours, you've
Yeah,
studied hard. But when you're recognized internationally, it must feel amazing.
it does. And you know, I had a great team with me. That's the other thing. Because you can go into it without a supportive team. And the thing was, everyone in the actual nucleus. My mother went with us. My drummer of almost 10 years. We've been playing together for 10 years. Almost every band that I've ever had or been a part of, he's somehow made it to that band. We've been playing together for 10 years, you know. We just picked up our bass player, Jesse. So Nick Andrews is my drummer, and Jesse Gomez is my bass player. They're both from Houston. I pretty much grew up with Nick, and I actually live 5 minutes down the street from him now. You know, I printed out about 1,000 cards of push cards, and we all spent like the mornings writing out the word Wednesday, 7:15, and you don't realize how much Wednesday doesn't sound like a real word until you've written it 35 times. You start saying, "How do you spell Wednesday again?" And they were just so supportive. We were all on deck. We all went and bought the same suit as Jesse because we were like, dude, it's already blue. Let's just go with it. I mean, the support system we had just to go up was just insane. And that's from the nucleus, like just us itself. I had buddies on this, they were on tours while we were actually in Memphis. And they sent me a text. They said, hey, you can do it. You got this. It's like, man, we'll see what happens.
And I know you said you like to look toward the next thing. Are you able to share a little bit about what's upcoming for you for this year?
So this year in September, we'll be on the road for a little bit. We'll be doing Telluride, Colorado, Blues and Brews, right? Telluride Blues and Brews. We have the Big Blues Bender in Las Vegas. And then we have another festival on the way back down in Terrell, Texas. So a lot of festivals and just gearing up for touring. You know, as far as, you know, musical equipment is concerned, I'm working with a couple brands right now that I can't disclose, unfortunately, as of right now. But you know, I'm really excited to be on the team with these guys and to just have the team that I'm with right now. It's a lot of fun stuff coming up, you know, and we're steady trying to work on 2024 before we have to rush it all like we did now. So
Well, that's excellent. Excellent. One more question for you. In your own words, what does living a creative life mean to you?
living a creative life to me means make mistakes. In music, there's a lot of stuff from a theory perspective is what I had a teacher one time. He said, what is music theory? I told him it was the things we learn so we can understand music. He said, no, music theory is just that, a theory. It can all be right, it can all be wrong. And then you listen to songs that are written by like people like Stevie Wonder with chords that don't make sense. And you're just like, that's not music theory. It's like, and then there's a interview where he goes back over one of the songs you recorded. He's like, yeah, I messed up at the end. No one knew. Don't be afraid to mess up. Write something that doesn't sound good. Write something that doesn't sound like it should work. Make a piece of art that you know you'll never show to anybody. Make a piece of art that you just hate. Mess up, because from your mess ups you learn, and that forces your creativity to be at a higher level.
That's excellent. Any other parting words for our listeners before we go?
Don't stop believing. Someone's gonna catch that reference. I don't know who, but someone's gonna catch it.
Well, Mathias, thank you so much for being on the podcast.
I've been looking forward to it for a little while here, and I'm excited to be with you, answering these questions. I wasn't expecting the food ones at all. Had I known, I would have been like steady looking at my phone, because there's some really good spots here, like really, really good spots.
Yeah, they are.
And there's this like really, I got this one that's like hidden over there on Lockwood in East Houston. It's really, really good. I'll give you the name after. I don't want people like coming there and ruining my Saturdays.
It's your secret spot.
It's my secret spot.
Awesome.
But yeah, I've thoroughly enjoyed this, and especially all the questions.
Well, again, thank you so much for being on the podcast. And listeners, please check the show notes for upcoming tour and festival dates so you can see this awesome guy in person. And of course, keep checking his socials, because his amazing album will drop soonish.
Soonish.
There we go. Soonish.
I like that one.
All right. Thank you so much, and have a great one. Thanks for listening to the podcast. Like the show? Have a question? Stop by the Facebook and Instagram pages. Links are in the show notes, or search for Creative Piecemeal Podcast on social media and click follow for all the latest.